We begin with breaking news tonight. The Dunbar boys basketball team is out of the OHSAA tournament. The OHSAA expected to announce this as early as tomorrow morning. It was a long wait for Minster. After winning the state championship in 1989, the Wildcats went 25 years between state appearances. But after that hiatus, Minster fans have been rewarded, seeing the team make it to the title game 3 times in the past 4 years. The heartbreak is all too familiar for Wright State fans in this spot. The Raiders playing in the Horizon League championship game for the 4th time in the last 6 years and 6th in the last 12. But Wright State has won only once in this spot, and that was back in 2007. Urban Meyer has already started his politicking, trying to pump up a Big Ten conference that currently has half of its teams with a losing record. But no matter the talk of what Meyer or anyone else has to say, the Buckeyes know they have to get a win tonight.
Often we hear stories in sports of incredible comebacks, the team or a player that just wouldn't quit, despite the odds. Tonight we have a story that goes even deeper and much more meaningful. Fox 45's James Ryder here now, and James, this story is remarkable.
Yeah, Adam, in sports we often use numbers to judge a player, a team, or a coach. Like Franklin Monroe standout Ethan Conley, averaging 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. But the number that means the most to this amazing junior is 33.
And to see him do some of the things that he's doing now, we just give the glory to God, because it's a miracle that he's able to play basketball.
When he was 8 years old, Ethan Conley and his family were on their way home from watching a Wright State basketball game, and they had no idea that in just a few days, their lives would change forever.
It was a really good game, exciting, and we went home, and my stomach, it just didn't feel right. It was something that I'd never experienced before, and I was scared, an 8-year-old. Experiencing this kind of pain.
Ethan spent most of the weekend in bed with what his family assumed was the flu, and he stayed home from school on Monday.
Come Monday afternoon, I said, Ethan, you're going to have to get up and walk around a little bit. And he said, Mom, I can't walk.
Felt like there was knives just stabbing at my legs.
Little by little, that evening, his legs the pain started to get worse and worse.
I just remember I was screaming. That's all I could do, because the pain was so great.
And I couldn't do anything to calm him down, and I knew something was wrong.
And that was kind of the start of our nightmare.
Javen had to carry his son to the car as the Conleys quickly rushed to the hospital.
When the doctor called my name out, I decided to get up. And when I got up, I collapsed to the floor. I couldn't walk at all.
Ethan was quickly admitted.
This isn't working. He's in excruciating pain. Something else is going on.
Things continued to get worse for Ethan. He was diagnosed with a rare virus that was attacking his muscles. His legs were swollen to twice the normal size, and the damage done to his muscles caused his bloodstream to be flooded with an enzyme called CPK, normal levels of which are below 200.
He was admitted, his CPK level was 2,000. By the end of that day, it was 50,000, and then as each day went along, it was in the hundreds of thousands. It topped out at almost 700,000.
According to the family, that's the highest level ever recorded. Ethan was being poisoned from the inside out, his kidneys failing, and was placed on advanced life support.
When his blood pressure dropped and all the nurses came flooding into his room, I just felt like that was it. I specifically remember looking at Javen and saying, I can't live without him. He has to make it.
The family felt hopeless as the doctors worked tirelessly to care for Ethan.
There was no other documented case anywhere in the world that anyone had survived this kind of virus.
You just pray that all those machines keep working. I can just remember the sounds every single beat. That I just would pray, just keep working, just keep working.
Doctors said if Ethan did survive, he could have to have his legs amputated, need a kidney transplant, and possibly be on dialysis the rest of his life.
If he has to have a leg or both legs amputated, or he has to be on dialysis, that's fine. We'll deal with that. We can get through those things, but we just want our son.
After numerous scares that the end may be near, Ethan began to recover and his condition improved.
It was a good 2 weeks, maybe 3, before we really had any kind of indication that he was pulling out of this.
Still bedridden in the hospital, Ethan's sister Karina was celebrating a birthday, and Ethan came up with the best present he could think of as the family held a party in his room.
Ethan says, "Mom, I'm going to walk for Karina's birthday today." And I said, "Oh, honey, that's really sweet of you, but it's okay. I know it's okay." That was just the biggest moment. He had just overcome so much in that moment, and he was just proving that he was going to continue to overcome.
Ethan's done just that. Not only does he still have both of his legs and his health, but he's the star player on Franklin Monroe's basketball team and has already surpassed 1,000 career points as a junior.
It kind of gives us a purpose to play for. Like, we're not just playing to win, we're playing for him because, he shouldn't be here, and we're all lucky enough that he is here.
8 years later, Ethan is still an inspiration and a constant reminder of overcoming all odds.
Every day I wake up, every day I go to bed, I think about it. I think about how different our world would have been if God had not saved him.
It's honestly every day. When I walk through those doors and I see him, I just think about how much we take for granted.
I always think about it daily. That's why I always want to go out on the court. I want to give it all that I have because you never know when your last breath could be.
I tell you this much, James, there's not a day that goes by that I don't thank God for healing him. It's changed our lives because now we are able to put things in perspective.
On the court, Ethan wears the number 33 for the number of days he spent in the hospital.
It also symbolizes what God has done in my life.
Ethan shares his story to also share his faith and hopes that his number 33 and his life stand for so much more than meets the eye.
Every move that I make, it's a miracle because I shouldn't have my legs right now. They should be amputated. I shouldn't have my life.
Ethan is being recruited by Division II colleges right now and is on the radar and has the potential to end up as a Division I player when it's all said and done. Now, whether it's on the court or off of it, Ethan Conley is a very impressive young man. Springfield sophomore Larry Stevens is one of the top up-and-coming players in the class of 2020. He's been a key piece to the Wildcats' success this season, and while the stats might not wow you, there is much more to Larry than meets the eye.
Larry Stevens is a very talented basketball player, very good IQ. He's got that it factor about him, a very nice skill set, very good with both hands, next level player. Division I basketball player. He's already getting interest from colleges.
But before Stevens ever steps on the court, you probably noticed his cochlear implants. He's had them for most of his life.
His mom told us the story. He was in the kitchen one time, and then she called his name, and then he couldn't hear her, so she came up to him and was like, "You couldn't hear me?" And then he said no.
When I'm 3 or 4 years old, I just lost my hearing completely, and my family was just shocked, so we rushed to the hospital. And so they said I had a hearing disability, so I ended up getting hearing aids. But then after a while, they weren't working, so they ended up giving me surgery, and I got cochlear implants when I was 6.
Larry's been a good athlete his whole life, but as a kid, he was self-conscious for standing out for a different reason.
I just felt different around people that didn't have them. People would come up to me and ask me what they was and stuff, and I just felt different.
But when he was 8 or 9, Larry says he got used to it, thanks in part to what his parents told him, which are also words to live by for anyone that feels different.
My parents just tell me you're still the same person and you're different from nobody else. So at that point, he just clicked on it. Never think different about yourself. Never give up. Just keep going.
Larry fields questions about his cochlear implants daily. But other than that, he doesn't give them a second thought. Although he has had them fall off before playing both football and basketball.
It was senior night against Beaver Creek. It was fourth quarter. Scored my first touchdown my varsity football season. Everybody jumped on me and come to the sideline. Everybody said my helmet, and I don't know where I lost my hearing aid. So then we couldn't find it, so we didn't know where it was. So then Monday and Tuesday day at practice, I found out it was inside my shoulder pads.
One time we just attacked the rim, and then, you know, they both fell off, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, he just picked them up, put them back on, and it was about the game, you know, just rest of the game.
Larry said he's thankful to have the implants and that his hearing is very normal. And he never has any issues, which is an obvious question that he can get on occasion.
The games we play and the type of competition we play, playing a lot of loud basketball games. But he does a good job. He hasn't had a problem with it. I don't see him having a problem with it.
And if he ever wants to, Larry could literally block out all of that noise.
I think about doing it in close games where there's very loud in the game, and I'm on the free throw line. I was thinking about taking them off so I won't hear nothing and just focus.
The implants might catch your eye at first, but he is a star in the making at Springfield.
Larry is very mature. He, you know, he not only gets it done on the court, but also in the classroom. Also one of the better people you're gonna meet outside. Larry's so easygoing, man. It's hard not to like him. You know, so you wouldn't look at him and say, oh man, what's sticking out about him or whatever the case may be. You'll fall in love more so with his personality or his skill set on the court or how smooth he is on the football field.